So I am back with another tutorial. The eyes are kind of like dramatic, a little bit Mad Men inspired, I'd say, and then the lips are very modern, bright orange. So if you want to see what I did to get the look, keep watching. Alright, so just getting right into it. This is a little Arbonne primer, putting this on with a flat kabuki brush and just working it all over the skin. Then the next thing I'm going to do is prime the lips, and I do this in the beginning so the primer has a moment to really sink in. And then just moving on to the eyes, this is just a little Painterly paint pot, which I use pretty much daily. It's just a very fair cream eyeshadow. So this is blank type, and I'm putting this over the Painterly with just a nice big fluffy brush and just getting it really liberally all over the lid, all the way up to the brow bone. It's just really the same color as my skin, so you're going to want to use an eyeshadow that's about the same color as your skin. And now I'm going in with a color called Texture, and I'm taking a MAC 217, which you can see by the shape of the brush. It's kind of fluffy, but it's also a little tapered, and I'm just getting that right into the crease and a little bit on the outer corner. Then I'm taking a color called Omega, which is about one shade lighter than my skin tone, and I'm just using that to kind of buff the edges of the texture so it's just really smooth and there's no harsh lines. And I'm using a fluffy brush for that. This is a MAC gel liner. My gel liner is getting a little dry, so you can see I'm having to work a little harder with it. So it's probably time for a new one, but I'm just taking a thin brush. This is a MAC 209. And I'm just working this, basically following the natural lash line, and then just before I get to the end, I'm starting to lift it to create a wing. And you'll see, because of the shape of my eye, because I have a pretty deep set eye with a prominent brow bone, I kind of have to work outside the brow bone. So you'll do yours basically dependent on the shape of your eye. I don't like to go over the bump because then it looks a little wiggly, so I kind of bring my lines a little further out. Then I'm taking another brush. This is a MAC 266, which also works really well to do your wing liner. I'm using this because I want to get right up to the lashes and kind of like fill in so that there's no space. You can see I want it to be black all the way to the lashes, and then even a little bit underneath, kind of tight lining. Just want everything to be completely dense together. And you just kind of work with it a little bit. It's usually not, you know, one fell swoop. Like I said, this liner's a little dried out, so I'm having to work a little harder, but you know, it's never really just one straight line. Okay, so one eye is pretty much done to start, and then just finishing off with a warm brown. This is MAC's Costa Riche eyeliner, and it's a very warm, kind of reddish brown, and I'm just putting that along the lower lash line and then going back with the Texture and a MAC 239, and I'm just dragging that under the eye. So I have like a little bit of shadow, but it's not too harsh. Okay, so both eyes are done, and just filling in the brows a little bit. This I'll just do quick because it's pretty much the same for every video, so I don't really need to spend too much time. So now for the foundation, which will make a nice difference, especially right now because I'm like 8 months pregnant. My skin is not looking great. I'm very, very hyperpigmented, so can't wait to get this foundation on. And I'm using that same flat, stiff brush that I used for the primer. Same brush, didn't wash it off or anything. And I'm just taking a little bit of that foundation, and then I'm also taking the concealer in the same color. This is the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer, and I'm putting this under my eyes and then on my cheeks, around my mouth, pretty much everywhere where I need lots of coverage, and they're the same color, so it's just going to kind of allow me to cover more without loading on too much foundation. And the foundation, by the way, was MAC Studio Fix in NC20. You can see the foundation, it's a little bit on the yellow side, but that's actually for a reason. It's actually very flattering when you use a foundation with a little more yellow. It kind of neutralizes the redness and it kind of wakes you up a little bit. So I always like to use something with a little bit of yellow in it. Just, you know, makes you look younger and better, and who doesn't want that? All right, so I'm just taking a little bit of MAC Swiss chocolate, which I didn't show you. It's just a warm chocolate brown, and I was just blending that into the outer corner. And then you can see this is MAC Gesso. It's just a matte white, and I use that as my highlighter. Just using like a matte white I think can be a nice change just to highlight the lid and the brow bone. This is a little bit of Anastasia brow powder, and I'm just kind of going over my pencil just to set it and make it really nice and dark, and I also think it makes it look a little more natural. And then I'm just taking a little bit of pressed powder. This is a Chanel one that I like, and I find it goes better on with a powder puff, so I'm just kind of pressing that in to set the foundation. And then I'll go back with a brush and probably buff over it just so it's nice and smooth. And then this is a nice little cheapy $5 bronzer. This is an NYC one. And I'm just taking like a nice fluffy brush and I'm just kind of working it, you know, along the contours, giving myself a little color down the neck, of course, so that you match. And it's a nice warm color, so I think it speaks well to the eyes. Then I'm taking, this is an inexpensive Coastal Scents blush. This is a nice like peachy, orangey kind of color. I thought it went well with the lip that I'm going to choose, and I used the same brush that I used for the bronzer, and just kind of getting it onto the cheeks just to add a little bit of blush and kind of blending that into the bronzer, which is why I use the same brush. Curl the lashes, always, that's really, you know, de rigueur, and you could definitely use fake lashes for this. Lots of mascara on top and bottom. Spend some time on your mascara. You'll really, you know, it'll really make a difference. This is an orange lip pencil called Lasting Sensation by MAC, and it works really well with the lip color that I'm going to use, so I'm just kind of drawing the lips nice and full and filling them in. And then this is MAC Sushi Kiss, and this is going right over. And I really like to use my lipsticks like really liberally, like really load them on, so, you know, especially if you want the color really, really to speak. And that's pretty much it. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know what you think.